Hey guys, and welcome to Wild Camping NI. Today I'm at my local forest and I'm just come out today just for this afternoon to light a fire and show you my new knife and some alternative fire lighting methods. I know the last time I was out we struggled with the wet wood, and unfortunately I'm not quite sure if today's going to be any different. The wood today, again, I've started preparing some local wood, and even though it's quite dry today, it's been wet recently and the ground itself is soaking, and I've been looking for some low hanging dead wood, but even it seems to be quite wet, so I'm going to keep attempting looking for some dry wood to try and start a fire that way. But I have brought a few alternatives, as I say. So I bought this knife from greenmansbushcraft.co.uk. Last week they had a sale on, a flash sale where it was selling for $3.95. I think it usually sells for $12.95, so I bought myself and Chris and Sam one of these each, so we did. I quite like it. It's a company, I think it's pronounced Haltifor, but it's very, very similar to a Mora knife. It's got the Swedish grind on it, so it has, or the Scandinavian grind. As you can see here, it's quite a straight grind. But what I liked about this knife here compared to my other Mora knife was it has a very large handle, which is great for gripping, but quite a short blade, which is very good for controlling for when you're preparing wood. It also has a lovely thick stem, which will produce a lovely spark when you use your knife. If you want to use it to light a tinder, I personally don't use my knife for that. And it also comes in a lovely plastic sheath where it clicks in nicely, nice and secure, and also has a nice plastic belt lip that you can click onto your belt. I will include in the YouTube video a link to these knives. I think even at $12.95 they're a wonderful knife. They can be used for, you could baton wood with it, so you can make a filler stick, you can cut your meat. It's a very versatile knife. It's quite small, but as I say, it's got a very thick blade, so it should be quite strong, and the tip is also nice and strong, so it shouldn't damage too much. Okay guys, I've prepared some dry wood here. I found a dry branch and I've made some curls out into it, so hopefully we'll get a flame into this here and then hopefully transfer some of the bigger timber onto it. Let's see what happens. Sure, I am notoriously bad at putting a spark into some. I usually send it flying, so I do apologise. Tinder tray, test one. Success. Tinder tray works very well. As you see there were a lot less spillages, and as I say, I can feed that fire now, transfer it to a fire stick if needs be. I'm not going to, so I'm not, but I could transfer that out, take up the bars wood. So Tinder tray works very well. Test 2. A very good filler stick. Let's see how it takes up without the Tinder tray. Okay, today I want to show you how to light a fire. I've used before, as you've seen before, my petroleum jelly balls and how quickly and well they take a spark. I'll show you here just now to light a fire with one, but I'll just show you how it works. But I've recently found something new that I really like. As you can see, it's very, very easy to light, and because of the petroleum jelly, you get a nice hot flame for quite a long time, as you'll see. But what I've recently found online on greenmansbushcraft.co.uk, the same place I got my knife, I found a natural fire lighter, which would be quite handy to have, especially in Northern Ireland. It's very wet, so it is, and it's notoriously hard to light just dry wood from a spark, especially when most of the wood's quite wet. Just going to move this along now. So what we have here is these balls, which I think they're like a fat wood. They're quite oily and waxy, and there's little tinder balls, but I usually bring one with me. What I do is I just tear it apart, because it's like the big balls can actually light a whole fire, but I just tear a part off and keep some keep some for later on. So there's 24 of them for $3.99, and I'm only using one, which will light multiple fires for me. So, take that out of the way. Oh, as you can see, the petroleum jelly ball is still going, so it is. But this stuff here is natural, and this is my first time using it, so let's see how it takes a spark, and subsequently can it light a fire from the spark. Let's see. I have some tinder collected in different sources and some wood here. I'm not going to light a fire to cook on today, but you actually cook on my German mess tin later on, but for now let's see how this works. So as you can see, it's not as easy to light as the cotton ball, but it is natural, so let's see. So as you can see, when it does take, it takes pretty hot and fast. It's quite intensive. I think it's like a fat wood. I don't know if I'll get a fire going fully today or not, because unfortunately there's a lot of wet wood there is, so I might struggle to actually get a full fire going. I'm way out for a day unless I'm going to cook. I'm going to cook on my German mess tin in a minute or two, so it's not for heat, it's just for trying out the new fat balls, as I say. Okay guys, we've been out for an hour or so now, knocking about with some fire. I showed you my new knife and some of the new tinder balls that I got from greenmansbushcraft.co.uk. I've also got a few new toys that's a bit more army surplus that I'm going to use now to hopefully cook some late lunch, let's say. So the first one is these awesome British Army dry bags. This one here itself is from 1966 and it's like new, apart from the dirt I put on it. And it's designed to hold the British Army mess tins, and it's waterproof, rubberised on the inside, as you can see. I don't know if you can see or not, but it's all rubberised on the inside. I've today just used it as a wee hold all bags. I have more than actually a dry bag, but it's awesome. And as I keep my petroleum jelly balls. I've got a bungee cord. Bungee cords, as you can see behind me, my coat's hanging up on a branch, but if I can never find a branch, sometimes I like to put a bungee cord around a tree. And Then you can hang your rucksack from it, or you can hook up your bag to the trees or your coat, whatever's required. It's quite a warm afternoon actually this. Even though I don't intend to be out at night time, I still have a torch just in case. And then today I couldn't be bored preparing some food and stuff, so I just brought a ration. So today we have chicken curry. My choice today to cook on is a German army mess tin. This is a nice new lower strat. These lower strats are nearly impossible to find original. I actually bought this here from eBay, and it's a replica, so it is, unfortunately, but it's designed for mess tins, and I love it because it holds it all together and you can strap it onto your belt, etc., or your backpack, whatever required. So today I'm going to attempt to cook my MRE in my German mess tin. Inside the German mess tin, basically I bought this German mess tin as part of a cook set. In my earlier days, when my knowledge of surplus was even worse than it is now, let's say, I bought a German mess tin in a windbreaker with a triangular cooker and a fuel bottle, all as one, not knowing what it all was. Got it for like £12 or something like that from a surplus store locally. And what it actually turned out to be it was actually a Swedish army windbreak, which I'll show you in another video. I think I've showed you on the budget £100 budget camp video. And instead of having the original Swedish mess tin, it had the German mess tin, and I didn't at the time didn't know it. I knew it didn't fit exactly in the box, so I knew it wasn't original, but it worked very well. But now I've got myself a Swedish tin. I keep the German one on its own. I do still like the German one because, unlike the Swedish one, the German one has an internal pot that you can hook together here, which is very versatile for holding multiple food over a fire. So obviously the German one has a frying pan lid, an internal pot, which can go to the flame too, and the large, I think it's 2 pint, I think it's 2 pint or a litre jar, which can yet again be hung over a fire or can be used with a triangular. This is a triangular cooker, which this is actually original Swedish. This is an 82 one from Sweden, and this in here actually I've replaced the rubber seal in it. You probably can't see, but in here there's a rubber seal. I've replaced that rubber seal, which means it can actually store fuel if you want to. In the mess tin, so you don't even have to bring a fuel bottle with you if you're going out for one day. Today I'm not using this. I just keep it in here to do because it's part of the kit, and I'm actually going to use a British Army solid fuel cooker with solid fuel. So I'm going to hopefully use this to boil up my MRE and eat that. Today I've chose the German water bottle, and this here I'll use this here with the water bottle. Okay, I've repositioned the camera now. I've got the cooker set up level. I have the pot, which you can see will sit on here. I'll probably try and get a wee stick or something out there to keep the handle away for now. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm actually going to adjust these legs, and these legs adjust like so for different size pots. So I'm actually putting any bits on them just because this pot's actually slightly smaller. There you go. Now, what I didn't do was I didn't bring a lighter today. I have these tablets which are the fuel burners, so I'm actually going to try and take a spark to some cotton balls and then light one of these here tablets directly from that. So let's see how this is going to work. You don't want to touch these tablets too much with your hands, you don't, because they're actually, I wouldn't say toxic, but you wouldn't want to be eating them this that much, okay? So I'm all prepared. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure out my water swam. So I usually what I do is I fold this in half in the pot. and then I fill in the water around it. This is quite a large pot, so it is, so it wouldn't be the most efficient one to use. Of course, after the water's boiled, you can use it for tea or coffee. I haven't brought any tea or coffee from today or anything else. I've just brought this one. And so I've about half of this full of water I have, and I'm going to insert my ration pack right into that water slam right down low. And as I say, I do have my lid. You can use the lid two ways. You can either just sit it on upside down in that air, which gives a nice seal, or you can, and also you could also use that air to heat up. I've in the past cooked it in here, boiled eggs in the water. I've had beans simmering away in here, and then in this pot here over the fire I cut up some bits of bacon over a fire, and I was able to have bacon, egg and beans. But obviously today I've actually brought another bowl because I'm not too space, it's not a premium. Okay, so hopefully this is going to work. Hopefully I'll be able to get a spark onto this as well, which will allow me to get this lit. Hopefully so, because I say I forgot matches or lighters today. I left my pouch in the car. So these are new fuel tabs that I've got, so I'm not actually sure how long it will burn for. So this is quite an unknown for me. Okay, so it's taking flame. Oh, there we go. It's up ready, so it is. So I'm going to let this burn away some and see how long it cooks for, and I'll come back to you when it's cooked, guys. Okay guys, as you can see, it's cooked and it's warm now. These wee cookers are quite inefficient, so they are. Say you probably only get about 10 minutes cooking out of one tablet. I don't generally keep this here as my main cooker. I usually have it just as a backup if the wind's bad or I can't board lighting a fire or run out of fuel for my triangle cooker. I'll have it just because it's very, very small and compact, and at a push you'll get a good rolling boil with one tablet, which will get you boiling water or cook you one of these MREs without much trouble. This here, say, is warm. It's not roasting hot, but it's warm, which is fine. And of course, never leave your rubbish behind. I always collect up my rubbish and I put it into a bag that I have with me, and that way there I leave nothing behind. Thank you again guys for joining us. If you have any ideas or thoughts on videos, future or past, please leave the comment, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and share. Also, as I said before, in the link description you can see links to a few of the items today I used with greenmanbushcraft.co.uk. I'm not affiliated with Greenman Bushcraft at all, I just really like their stuff, and if you use the link we will get a few extra points which will allow us to buy more bushcraft stuff in the future. As always, when you're out camping or out in the forest, leave the forest as you found it. As you can see, I have wrecked back all the wood, made sure any embers were still smouldering and that was all out before I put them away, and made sure that everything around me as was. You don't want to be coming out leaving a mess, and of course, as I said before, take your rubbish with you. Thank you for subscribing and joining. Obviously, just was walking back to the car and I thought this here. We are, as we've mentioned in our description, but probably not mentioned on video, we are fledgling bushcrafters or wild campers, as in we're still learning as we go. As you've well seen from my troublesome inability to light a fire from dry tinder without using a jelly ball or a artificial tinder. We are learning and we are practicing, so if you yourself have watched this video and you do make your own videos, please give us a like and a share and leave a comment, and we will watch your videos back too, because we watch a lot of videos on YouTube ourselves, as well as actually practicing. So please, if you fit the bill, give us a shout. And more important, if you're in Northern Ireland and you would like to come on and come out here someday and do some wild camping and do some videos, give us a shout. We're open to more people for sure.